What can it cost my lifestyle, my family, my freedom? How can it cost me if I don't get an attorney? Look at it that way.
If you or a loved one find yourself in need of a criminal defense attorney, how do you make sure you pick the right one? Well, that's what we're going to find out today as we Ask the Lawyer. Hi again, everybody. I'm Rob Rosenthal with AskTheLawyers.com, and my guest is Pittsburgh attorney Frank Walker, who has quite a bit of experience in this area. Before we get to Frank, I want to remind you, if you want to ask questions about your specific situation, just go to AskTheLawyers.com, click the button at the top of the page that says Ask a Lawyer, and you can do your asking right there. Frank, good to see you again. Thank you for making some time to help us out.
Thanks for having me. I appreciate you being here.
So I'm guessing when someone needs a criminal defense attorney, it's pretty important they pick the right one. There's a lot at stake. So and it can be a very emotional time. Am I right?
It is. It is. And most people don't understand that the next 5 or 10 years or even 20 years could depend on your decision that you make in a criminal defense attorney. It's very important that you do your due diligence, you research, and you speak with the attorney you're trying to hire. Make sure he or she has the requisite experience that you need for your case. For example, a lot of people think all lawyers do the same thing. That's not necessarily true. If a criminal defense lawyer only does DUI work, do you really want to hire them for your sexual assault or your homicide charge? You have to have experience in the area in which they're seeking to hire you for. And if you don't, as an attorney, you should say, you know what, I'm not the guy or I'm not the girl. Let me pass you off to someone else who has that experience. And that's okay. There's tons of people who are making bad decisions. You don't have to accept every case. So as a client, make sure you're researching your attorney and interviewing that attorney to make sure you get the right person and the right fit for your case.
First of all, Frank, is there a way to know whether they even need a criminal defense attorney? Are there people that are like, well, maybe I can do this on my own. Maybe I don't need an attorney. Help me sort that out a little bit.
Well, the surefire way to know you need an attorney is if the police are at your door. Police are at your door, or you find yourself in handcuffs face down on the concrete, or a police car, or you find yourself on the phone speaking with a detective. Anytime an officer or a detective asks you, keyword, ask you to come down. For example, come on down and clear up some things. We got their side of the story. We need your side of the story. Don't go. Call a lawyer. You need a lawyer. They come to your house. Hey, we got their side of the story. We need your side of the story just to clear up a couple of things. Otherwise, we're going to go to the DA. That's okay. I need to call a lawyer. Those are your responses. Anytime you're in contact with the police and they're asking you questions, you need a lawyer.
And call that lawyer before you answer any questions?
Yes, absolutely. Preferably don't answer any questions at all, but definitely call a lawyer before you answer any questions at all. And don't get anxious. A lot of times, because we live in this instant society where everything is, you want some food, you order it and it's there in 5-10 minutes if you're lucky. The problem is people think, oh, I wonder what this is. And their anxiety and their curiosity gets them in trouble. So they want to call the police. They want to call the court. They want to call the detective. What's this about? Tell me more about it. Why you want to talk to me? That's a bad decision. Call a lawyer, hire a lawyer, let them do your questioning and answering for you.
I think you and I talked about this once before, but it seems like sometimes when somebody says, well, I want to get my attorney on the line, well, then that makes you look like you're guilty. Maybe if you didn't do anything, why do you need an attorney?
And that's the perfect response from a detective, because they're skilled to make you feel guilty for hiring a lawyer. Listen, if you are injured and you don't know what your injury is, you're not going to say, oh, I'm going to call a doctor. You're not going to feel bad if someone tells you, well, why do you need to call a doctor? You can do this for yourself. You can use the Rice method. You can ice it. You can just use rest. Why do you need to call a doctor? You're not going to feel guilty because it's your body. This is your freedom. You need to make sure you protect your freedom at all costs. Call a lawyer. Don't let anyone make you feel inferior about calling a lawyer.
That's a really good point. What about minors, Frank, or first-time offenders? Do they still need an attorney?
Yes, they do. Any interaction with police, whether you're a minor, whether you're adult, whether you're a senior citizen, you need to contact a lawyer. Any contact with a police officer, a detective, call a lawyer. Whether you're a minor, whether it's a first-time offense, it doesn't matter. You may be eligible for some first-time programs to defer or dismiss a case if you complete some type of community service or some type of program specific in your area. But definitely call a lawyer, because you don't know what to expect and you don't know where the pitfalls are.
So it's important they pick the right attorney, but I'm guessing don't take too long to find the right attorney.
No. A lot of times people spend weeks, maybe even months trying to find the attorney. Meanwhile, the detective is still coming back, asking questions, answering questions to themselves because they didn't have anyone to filter out their responses. Make sure you get an attorney immediately. Anytime you have any contact with police, contact a lawyer.
What about availability of the lawyer? It occurs to me that I'm thinking arrests or criminal activity doesn't always happen Monday through Friday, 9 to 5.
No, they don't. For example, it's the weekend coming up. Most people are looking forward to Friday because they can rest. I can't because people are calling me on the weekends because police don't stop. Police are working through the weekend. They're investigating. They're arresting. People are going out on the weekends. They're getting DUIs, underage drinking, public intoxication. They're getting charged with crimes 7 days a week, 24 hours a day. So you need to make yourself available as a criminal defense attorney. And as a client, when you're looking for a criminal defense attorney, you need to lay it out all on the line. What's your availability? How will I contact you? Will I only deal with you or your associate? When can I contact you? What mediums? Can I text you, email, phone call, face-to-face, FaceTime, Google Meets? How can I contact you and speak with you when I'm in need or I have a question to get answered?
What else? What other piece of advice do you have for people when they're trying to choose the right criminal defense attorney? What else should they know?
I think you have to put it in perspective and ask the right questions to be honest with your situation. If you have a case where you're looking at, let's use an example for price. Price is sometimes prohibitive because they think, oh, this person is not charging as much as this person. Let's use an example. You work at a management job, your first job out of college, you're making $50,000 a year. Good, great job. So now you get charged with an offense where the maximum penalty could be a minimum of, well, let's say the minimum mandatory is 5 years in prison. So you're losing, what's that? Couple $100,000 if you get convicted of that crime. So what is the cost you're willing to pay to protect your reputation, your freedom, and that job that you will not be able to go to if you get convicted? Don't think in the matters of what does it cost right now. Think of the matter of what does it cost later on, and what can it cost my lifestyle, my family, my freedom? How can it cost me if I don't get an attorney? Look at it that way.
Lots of great information as always. Always enjoy our talks, Frank. Thank you for helping us out and answering our questions.
No problem. Thanks for having me.
That's going to do it for this episode of Ask the Lawyer. Remember, if you want to ask information and ask questions about your own specific situation, go to askthelawyers.com. Click the button at the top of the page that says Ask a Lawyer, and it'll walk you right through the easy process. Thanks for watching, everybody. I'm Rob Rosenthal with Ask the Lawyers.